lively Celtic music from McInnis Kitchen, Time Warp Theatre, and a peach.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
With musical roots from places like Ireland and Newfoundland, these musicians bring life to traditional Celtic music and share it with the world. Please welcome McInnis Kitchen.
From the queens and kings set off on the road to Terra Nova. All the stories and all the songs we take with us to keep us strong. We are on the road to Terra Nova. All the land and all the fish, the granting of our every wish. You know these are the things that bring us over. Humble in the eyes of God, together forward on we trod. Set off on the road to Terra Nova. They say there's land out in the west, a place where we can finally rest. We are on the road to Terra Nova. We hope and pray the angry sea will take us to our destiny. We are on the road to Terra Nova. Cursed are the foes unseen, and how the grass is lush and green. Beyond the fences we are climbing over. And all the stories can't be lies, ignore the warnings of the wise. Set off on the road to Terra Nova. Fertilize the fallow field, it furnishes the grandest yield. We are on the road to Terra Nova. When the day is nigh at hand, and new is old, and land is land, will we find a hand in Terra Nova? Will the tone of history derisive or complacent be? Or will we ever meet her dark composer? And when the veil is torn away, will future generations sing? We'll hold our ground and here we'll stay, settle down, we'll never stray, and curse to hell the road to Terra Nova. Refuge from the queens and kings, we set off on the road to Terra Nova.
That's fantastic. We'll meet the musicians and find out whose kitchen inspired the group in just a bit. Now, there's motivation and passion behind the cast of The Peach. It's an adaptation of Roald Dahl's James and the Giant Peach, presented by the Bold Choice Theatre Company. These actors deliver a powerful message with every performance.
We're Bold Choice Theatre! mission is that we bring outreach theater to schools and organizations, and it's a nice little compact. Within an hour, we get to talk about diversity and acceptance.
I don't mean to stare, but you all look a little different, unlike anything or anyone I've seen before. Oh, thank you.
It's a little bit serious, but funny at the same time. My name is Kevin Reese, and I play Mike McGuire, an anchorman in the Peach.
It appears that the giant peach has broken through the barricade on its property.
This play, well, we took the original play and kind of had a rough outline and then figured out how we wanted it to be about loneliness and isolation within being different.
We talk about our disabilities. We have monologues where we break out of character.
Hi, my name is Pete, and ever since high school I've always wanted to live on my own and be independent.
My name is Pete Barnett, and I play Aunt Sponge.
Sister, now there's a fruit up on that tree. It's a peach.
I've been with Bold Choice for many, many years, ever since their first production.
Battling obstacles living with disabilities. And also just in the theater world, a bold choice is when you've really been on stage and you're like, oh, what a bold choice that they made. That was an interesting twist on how someone would play a part, so it's kind of a double meaning.
Excuse me, mister. I'm Tanya. I play the ladybug. This is my third play now, and I'm loving it.
We've been around for, I think, about 5 years. This is our 4th original production that we have toured.
So we saw the peach up on the tree, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and we thought, now this is news.
My name's Annie Rosine, and I play Aunt Spiker.
I like working with Annie, our director.
I'm tough and I'm serious, and I don't coddle because they're people with barriers.
We got a plan then.
She pushes us kind of hard, but we need it. And we have to put our voices out loud so everybody can hear what we're saying.
We're going to have to bait them into coming closer.
Bait?
We're a serious company. We want to be taken seriously, and that's something that they have said and voiced that is important to them. And so I run it like a real show.
Where are you, you miserable brat? You worthless lump!
Hey, you don't talk to me that way.
It just really came out of my shell, and I've acted before, but this is just really something that I love to roll with and do something new every time.
That may be so, but he belongs to us.
No, I don't belong to you anymore.
It's, of course, the actors, they go like all of us do. You start and you're like, I can't do this, and when you get on stage, you know, you get the energy back and forth. But the metamorphosis that I think matters the most is watching people who come and expect less, and then they leave thinking, man, I shouldn't have expected less. I should expect a lot from these people.
The theater company is part of Choice Unlimited, a group that develops opportunities for people with a variety of abilities. Tomorrow, the group holds its annual gathering called Toast the Arts at Clyde Iron in Duluth. And now for a completely different theater experience, Brian Matusik is here along with Taylor Martin Romy. Welcome, also known as Beef.
That's right.
Okay, tell me about this awesome 80s prom that you guys are staging.
The awesome 80s prom is awesome. I think we could say that.
It's 80s.
And it's set in the 80s. It's an interactive show. It takes place at a prom in 1989, and so when the audience comes, they're going to be a part of the show the minute they come through the door. There's going to be stuff going on with actors like Taylor here and a lot of other great actors portraying different character types that you might recognize from 80s movies, a lot of John Hughes movies.
So this is actually scripted.
There is a handful of scripted scenes, and
then half of it is scripted, half of it is freeform improv, which is very scary if you've never done something like that before on this level, because sometimes you'll have interactive stuff in a show that, like, oh, bring somebody up and do a little bit with them, but half of it is just like, go interact with these people, and you have stuff that you have to do throughout the show as part of your character.
So tell me about these characters. We actually have an opportunity to show off some of the characters. We took some pictures earlier.
Yes.
Look at those. That is a great crew. We've got on the left there, that's Luke Morvik, who's playing Nick Fender, the bad boy. Let's see, next to him there, we've got Tate Pagel, who's playing Tate Hagelin Pagel, rather, who's playing Louis Fenstersbach, the nerd.
Yep.
Who else have we got there?
Then in the back we've got Brian there, who's playing Johnny Holmes.
No, Johnny Hughes.
DJ
Hughes. Johnny Hughes.
Johnny Holmes is somebody else. That's totally different show.
It's a different show.
Yeah. Then
like
the
the
next
exchange student.
Yes, that is
Swanson.
Inga Swanson.
Played by Carolyn Lapine, the foreign exchange student from Sweden. She speaks very little English.
Very little English,
and
but
Katie looks fabulous with her headgear.
Yes, yes, she is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
wonderful
just what fun to develop these characters and do the research. I mean, okay, tell me, Beef. What's the story here?
Well, the thing is, this is a total sort of opposite of my personality because I was kind of a dork in high school instead of a jock, and I'm very quiet and reserved most of the time, but I have to be loud and in people's faces, swear, burp, all that fun stuff. And just
fabulous job at it.
Yes.
Fabulous.
It's like I was born to play a real dick.
So who is this for? If they didn't have a bad experience in the 80s, you want them to have one now? Or it's got good music.
If you just want to come and dance to 80s music, you can come and do that. It's an actual, real, honest-to-gosh prom.
Yep.
It's at the Great Lakes Ballroom at the Holiday Inn. You just come on down in there, and like I said, there's action going on with the actors before you get in. Then once you get in, it's a real prom. I'll be in there playing all your classic favorite 80s tunes, and people can dance all night, and things have to happen around different places, and it's just so much fun to sit back. I've been sitting back the last couple nights as they run the show and just smiling and recognizing people because the 80s is my decade, baby. And I go, I knew Beef, I knew Nick, I knew all these people. So, and if only I had this hair in the 80s.
And for people like my wife who actually graduated in 1989, she will be the measuring stick. She'll be giving us all notes afterwards.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for coming over. Break a leg.
Thank you.
And have a great time with it. It's very silly and fun. Now, information on the prom can be found on the Rubber Chicken website with show times and prices. And so, guys, break a leg. Have fun with it. And it's actually the last weekend for a coming-of-age show at the Duluth Playhouse. 13, a new musical, shows off some very talented young actors and packs some humor into their journey to adulthood.
When I heard about 13 and I heard the music and I read the script, I said, we have to do this.
And it's about this young boy named Evan who's just about to turn 13, and he moves all the way to Indiana.
Appleton, Indiana.
And he's trying to fit in with the cheerleaders and the jocks and battle the cliques and everything that goes on in middle school. These kids are navigating some pretty tricky social territory, as anyone who has lived through middle school and high school can relate to. The teenagers and the middle schoolers can relate to it because they're experiencing it now.
I think it'll appeal a lot to adults because there's subtle jokes in there that adults would get.
There's a lot of spoken dialogue, but there's also a lot of songs, and most of them are pretty upbeat. And we have our full band, so that's cool.
Goes from heavy rock to light pop to Jamaican groove, so I think it appeals to a wide audience.
This is the show that will certainly set a challenge and take the children's theater not only to the next level, but take them to the next level as young artists and their confidence in themselves. The show runs from May 6th to the 15th, and it's at the Duluth Playhouse.
There's more information on everything mentioned on the playlist, as well as clips and a place for you to submit your ideas for future shows. It's all on our website, theplaylistonline.org. Now, the artwork in our studio is from the Art Doc tonight, and it features work by Cynthia Holmes and David Estrada. And we'll be back for more music right after this.
Public buildings are historically kind of bland. I think it just livens up the place. My name is Ron Werkla, and we have a display here at the courthouse. It's going to run for 7 weeks. It's called 4 Grand Exhibits. Arts in the Courthouse, which stands for Arrowhead Regional Talent Series, and Charlene Luma is our first artist.
I'm Charlene Loma, and I'm really a retired public school teacher. It's just been within the last year where I started to do what I call abstract photography. This was a candy dish, and it just wasn't interesting enough to me, and I put a cobalt vase behind it, and it gave it depth, and there it was. So there's a lot of that to explore yet.
Because this was abstract photography, it just caught our eye right away, and thought it was a pretty exciting thing to have on display.
To make art available and accessible to the general public, I think, is a quality of life issue.
Art is for everyone, and I'm honored that they can pass through here and pause in their busy day and maybe get something out of it.
The exhibits themselves are going to run roughly 6 to 7 weeks each. This one starting May 10th, and it will run into June.
Without further ado, please welcome back McInnis's Kitchen.
Aha, me buys. Lukey's boat is painted green, the prettiest boat you ever did see. Aha, aha, me lady. Aha, me lady. Oh, Lukey's boat got a fine for cutty. Aha, me buys. Lukey's boat got a fine for cutty, and every seam is chipped with putty. Aha, aha, me lady. Aha, me lady. Got high stop sails, aha, by. Lukey's boat got high stop sails, she's planked with copper nails, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. I think, says Lukey, I'll make her bigger, aha, me by. I think, says Lukey, I'll make her bigger, I'll load her down with a one-clawed jigger, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. Now says Lukey, get aboard your grub, aha, me by. Now says Lukey, get aboard your grub, one split pea in a 10-pound tub, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. Yes, Lukey's rolling out the grub, aha, me by. Lukey's rolling out the grub, a barrel and a bag and a 10-pound tub, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. Sailed up the shore, aha, me by. Lukey, he sailed up the shore to get some fish from Labrador, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. Oh, Lukey's boat is painted green, aha, me by. Lukey's boat is painted green, the prettiest boat you ever did see, aha, aha, me lady, aha, me lady, aha, me lady, aha, me lady. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I'm sneaking right in here. So, Chuck Butler, welcome to the playlist.
Well, thank you.
Will you please introduce the rest of the band
I
for
certainly
us?
will. On the far end, Mr. Jim Austin on drum, Sue Spencer on guitar, and Mr. Mark Monroe on fiddle.
Fantastic. And how long have you been playing together?
Not long enough. It's been about 6 years with this group, and it's been a blast. We certainly have enjoyed it. And pretty much is an expression of our cultures all mixed together.
Give me a sense of the traditional music has a spirit, a different feel to it.
Yes, it does. A lot of the music that we do is based in, like I say, a lot of our upbringing was the traditional kitchen party, especially on the east coast of Canada, and of course in Ireland they call them ceilidhs, where people get together and they socialize, and the kitchen is kind of the center of the focus. And usually after dinner is done, they take out the stove, they move out the table and chairs, and the women dance, the men play music, and they have a good night of fun. Sometimes it goes from Friday night till Sunday morning before church. So a lot of this music really comes from that culture.
So you and Mark were playing something called double fiddle. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, that's a tradition that's been, I was brought up in from County Donegal. That's probably about the third generation in our family that plays that style, and it's somewhat unique to County Donegal in Ireland. And basically, the layman's term of what we're doing is Mark is playing the melody, and I'm playing all the notes he doesn't want to play.
Well, you play it together very well,
right,
along with a couple of accordions. Yes.
Yes,
they tell me I have about a minute left, so
okay.
I have to make sure I ask you. I hear there's a recording in the works.
Yes, there is. There's a second recording that we have out as a group, and it's Music from the Kitchen, as appropriately titled, because that's pretty much what we do. And we hope that that'll be out sometime early this summer if everything goes well. So.
Okay. And now tell me when we can hear you play around here again.
In the area again here, we will probably be in, now I'm going to have somebody help you with the dates here, but we'll be doing Lucius Woods in July 23rd.
Venue. Beautiful place.
And then the day after that, we're all the way up in Thunder Bay at Old Fort William for the Celtic Fair up there. So
fantastic. So you play around.
Yes, well, that's part of the fun.
Thank you so much for
so
coming
much
over and opening our ears and our eyes to a whole new strain of music.
Right.
I sure appreciate that.
Well, we're glad to.
We have one more tune from you guys, and we're going to wish you a good night and a good weekend, and hope you get to go out and enjoy arts opportunities all around you.
Okay.
Take it away.
We'll get them dancing.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.